Hey everybody, welcome back to East West RVing. Thanks for joining us. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment. That helps us out and we appreciate it very much. Thank you. So because we had to cancel our 7-month trip, if you saw last week's video, we're going to get caught up on some basic general maintenance items that need to get done. Pretty simple stuff. We got a new faucet for the kitchen sink. The other one finally fell apart, so we'll go wrestle with that. What else we got in this little thing here? Oh yeah, I got some command strips. We're gonna put those someplace just to hang up a couple items that need to get done. What do we got here? Oh yes, so we have, if you look behind me, you might be able to see the range hood. On the outside is the vent for that, which is this thing. You got the little arms in here that open that flapper up, that door, and it kind of does that, vents everything out. So the one that's there is from 2014. It's the original equipment, and it got baked in the sun. It got old, brittle, and it started falling apart. So unfortunately, the little arms that hold this door closed, well, they fell off. They're gone. So when we're driving down the road, this thing is kind of bouncing around, making noise, which is no big deal. You don't hear it from the truck. But the other problem is it's flopping around, and it's raining. It's going to get water in there. It's going to rot the inside of the wall. So we want to avoid that. So we're going to put this thing in. That's one of our projects. What do we have? Oh yes. So on the hot water heater, we have a pressure relief valve. So that's leaking. Actually, the part that's leaking is this little arm that you use to relieve the pressure. That's leaking. These are not repairable. They're throwaways. So we'll just replace that. So that's on our list of things. What else we got? Let's see. We have a couple of USB-C ports, which we're going to put in the bedroom. We have two that are in there now to charge the cell phones, but they're USB. These here are an upgrade to USB and USB-C, so we can charge earbuds, the watch, anything that takes a C port. So we have two of those, so we'll upgrade what's in there now. And then we have, I don't know if you'll be able to see these little things or not. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. But on the exterior vent for the refrigerator, you have those little plastic tabs. You put the screwdriver and twist it a quarter turn, and it pops the cover off. Well, again, 2014, original equipment. Those things got dried out and cracked, and one of them's totally gone. So if the other one goes, well, that cover's going to come off and we'll never see it again. So we're going to replace these. There's a 4-pack and you only need 2. Supposedly they just press in place and that's it. So we're going to get that done so we don't lose that cover. And of course the cover's white. I might paint it black so it matches this pinstriping on the camper. This vent here, this is gloss black, which I really don't like. I think it looks like crap. So we're going to sand this thing down a little bit. We're going to go to a flat black. We're going to use the high temp paint, which is used for painting gas grills. This stuff works great. I recommend that on almost anything you paint outside that's plastic. Stuff works really, really good. Of course, we'll put the butyl tape in there. Get that done. So those are my projects, little maintenance projects. We might extend our backsplash. I did this on another video. We got this backsplash here. It is peel and stick, but if you're gonna do that, I'll watch the other video. You can put a link to it. You want to use spray glue because the adhesive on the back of these things, well, they're crap, and this will fall off. So if you peel this back off, spray on here, spray on the wall, per the instructions, give it a couple minutes, and then press it on. It'll never come off. So we're going to expand the backsplash a little bit, just to finish it off, make it look better. We'll get that done. And then, of course, we're going to go adjust the slide. It's off a little bit. So we'll get that done. And that's about it, really. There's really nothing to do. Everything's we got done prior to our 7-month trip that never happened. So these things, they do a B or a USB and a USB-C. There we go. So we just leave that little door open. There's a couple C's and a regular USB and an on-off switch. And it's pretty simple. It's just a hot wire in the ground. It'll take a couple minutes to put them in. It's pretty basic. So we took our power from the one of the overhead lights in the bedroom. We just stole it off of there because it's all 12 volt, so it's nothing major. So we'll get those two installed and move on to the next project. All right, what do we got here? Got a couple of Phillips head screws. Just take these out real quick. So I'll save these USB ports just for spares in case something happens and we need them somewhere down the road. Yeah, we got some connectors, crimper, and some cutters so we can cut the wires. It's your old one. All right, let's get these new ones in place. There it is. All right. All right, so now let's do the wires. All right. Yeah, it's kind of redneck, but it works. That's all that matters. Oop, I want to do that. Blow a fuse. Use a couple of these red connectors right here. Let's crimp them right on the wire. I don't know if you can see that, but on and off button, and it's lit up, so our connections are good. Alright, we'll just pull the wires through and figure out we'll just mount this thing. That's it. You'll have a cable for each side. And we just plug in the phone like so, throw it in a little container that I made last year, and that's it. That's my charger. I'll do that on the other side, and then we're done. Now, at least with the two C ports, I can charge the earbuds or the smartwatch, which you'll have to make some kind of something to hold the smartwatch. All right, next project, the pressure relief valve. This thing has been leaking for a while. It's original equipment, 2014. I'm not sure if you can rebuild these or not, but we're just going to replace it. It's pretty cheap money. So obviously the first thing you want to do is make sure your water's turned off. Make sure your gas is turned off. You don't want this thing to kick in while you're draining it. So you relieve the pressure. Just lifting up on this little arm right here. Let the water come out, do its thing. Leave it open. And then normally you would take those big plumbing pliers there. I forget what you call them. But nobody carries those on the road, so we're going to use channel locks. This thing might be a little difficult to get off. It's been sitting there for a long time, but let's see what we can do. Just going to break this thing loose. Yep, there it is. So just remember, this is how I do it. I'm not a certified tech. I'm not a mechanic. I just like to fix things myself because it's cheaper. So anything I show on any of my videos, you guys do at your own risk. Do your own research. Work at your own comfort level. If it's something you don't feel comfortable doing or not sure about, hire somebody. Because you can end up making things a lot worse. So it is. I don't know if you can see inside there or not. There's a spring that works with this. That's all it does. So I guess somewhere up in here is the issue that it just leaks. And of course when you're boondocking, the last thing you want to do is have a water leak. So we'll just replace this. That's just a temperature rod. So this particular unit is it's a 3/4 inch, 150 psi, rated for 210 degrees. So before you order your part, you look right on the tag on this plate. It'll tell you all the information you need. So make sure you get the right one the first time. Alright, there's a new one. Oh yeah, much better. You can feel that when you work that lever. A whole lot better. This one's already, the thread's already pre-coated. But we're going to take some Teflon tape. I have the black, which is heavy duty. It's the same as the white, just a little thicker. So I'll put a little layer on that and get it installed. So after we get this all hooked up later on in the day, I probably won't show it on video, but I'll turn on the water, fill up this tank, and test it, make sure it works. Pretty straightforward, just thread it in straight. You don't want to cross thread anything because that would be a problem. That wire out of the way so we don't tear it up. And we'll aim it down so we have to put a hose in there. Alright, let me just close that valve. That's it. Motor project done. Perfect. Now I'll move on to the next one. Let's do another project. Today we're going to take off this vent for the range hood. It's because the little tabs inside that keep this thing closed are broken. So here's the new one. There's a little door in here that kind of flaps around. It's original equipment. It's dried out, faded, cracked, fell apart. It's no good. So we'll take this old one off. And then we'll replace with a new one. A bunch of screws. Let's take a little putty knife here. Break the seal. And that should come right off. There it is. That's the old one. So we'll just kind of toss that. Alright. Inspect our fan. Looks good. So I'll just peel off the old butyl tape. I'll refit this new one. Make sure it goes in the same hole. We don't have to author it anyway. Alright, perfect fit. Alright, got the butyl tape across the top, down the sides. Let's peel this paper off. Call that done. Butyl tape as we put them in, just so we get a good seal. So you don't need to torque these down a lot, because one thing is plastic. What you want to do is torque them enough so you see the butyl tape squeeze out of the edge. And you just take this putty knife. I'll just give it a slice. Take the excess off. Just like that. Just slice it down the side. If you want, which I probably will, is I'll get a little bit of non-self-leveling die core and just put a bead, small bead right across the top and just around the corner on either side a little bit. Non-self-leveling. That's a little one, you don't need a lot. Just give it a little extra. That's all you need. Another project done. Cross it off the list. On to the next one. Alright, next project. These little knobs right here. One of them broke off, so there's only one holding this whole panel in place. These things are fragile, they're old, plastic, and it's time to replace them. Take a little screwdriver, give it a twist. We're going to disconnect some hoses here for the drain for the refrigerator. And the fan, disconnect that. Take this thing right out. Alright, so these little clips here, they're one-way clips. So once you put them in, that's it, they don't come out. The only way to get these things out is you're going to have to snap them off. So you just take a pair of pliers, just give it a little twist. There you go. Break it loose and it pops right out. That's all it is. Now, the new ones are kind of weird. So if you look at this one, this is the part that you put the screwdriver in and twist it. So this is attached to the main part of it. And I guess the way you install these is you slide this whole unit in the hole, and then you take a little hammer and you just tap that in, just pushes that into here. Now they give you 4 of these in a package, you only need 2. There's a reason why. I did one on the other side and ended up breaking it. So you gotta be really careful with these things when you put them in, because it will snap pretty easy. And like that. So I'm going to hold the base of this down with one finger. And I'm going to give it an easy tap with a rubber mallet just to get that set in place. Just like that. You can hear it snap right in. Just give it a little tap. Try it out. Make sure it works. That's it. That's simple. So now that I had those little latches replaced, we're going to sand this frame down and we're going to tape it all off, and we're going to paint it black, the same as what we did with the vent up top, just so it looks a little better. And we'll do the same thing with this white vent here. We'll give it a white sand, and we painted the flat black. The only reason why I'm doing that is because the white gets yellowed after a while from being in the sun, and it just doesn't look very good. So we'll just go with black. Well, the paint's dry. We're ready to put this thing back together and move on to the next project. We got one more to do after this. So the boondocking gets too hot back here. We got a fan that'll push the hot air up to the roof and out. Check out our previous video. You can see how we do that. It's a pretty easy job. It's all 12 volt. That works. Just peel all this stuff off. That's it. Another project done. Alright, last project or maintenance item for this video, and we're done. Of course, they say it's the best for last, which is the kitchen sink. This thing's gonna be a nightmare. So these handles, they don't stay on the spindle anymore. There's a plastic part in there that's cracked and it's just old, it fell apart. The fake chrome is coming off, kind of looks like crap, and we got a screen up in here that leaks, and it leaks down here in the base no matter how many times I tighten this thing up. So we're going to replace this whole thing. So the new unit, it's really not much of a difference. It's a little more of an upgrade from what's there. It's got a little different style. This is more of a chrome. This used to be a brushed nickel or something. But it's pretty much the same thing. Not much of a difference. But, I mean, it's one of those things that needs to get replaced. The style of the handle is a little bit different, not much. Just enough to give it that little bit of an upgrade look. Alright, so that's it. I don't know, we got the water shut off. We have all the pressure relieved from the pipes, so there's nothing in there, so should be very minimal, if any, water leaking out of these pipes once we disconnect it from the faucet, so it won't be any big deal. All right, let's get it done, see what happens. I guess the first thing we're going to do is take these handles off. A little set screw in here. Half of them are so rusted it's ridiculous. Screw this little neck. Pull it right out. Do that or not. Let's see what we got. So we got the PEX with the white giant nut on there, which threads onto the underside of the sink or the faucet. And we got the black nut that holds the faucet unit to the cabinet. So we're going to break loose both of them. And we'll see if it'll slide it right out. Alright, it's going to be awkward. Well, it wasn't easy, but we got underneath there and got these two big plastic nuts off. You can see what these things look like. That's all they are. Just a couple plastic nuts. Alright, let's pull this thing out. Alright, so once we get this thing off, we'll just give it a quick clean. You don't have to, because it's going to get covered up anyway, but it's more of a peace of mind thing. I like to know that it was cleaned. You really don't need any silicone on here. I prefer not to put it on, so if there is a leak, it's going to dribble down the countertop and I'll be able to see it and fix it before the water gets behind the walls and starts rotting wood. Don't want to do that. Alright, so before we put this thing in, we're going to put some of this plumber's tape on these threads just to prevent any leaks. You probably don't have to, but I'm going to anyway, just because I can. So let's see, that screws on. So you don't have to put a whole bunch of tape on here. You don't have to put it on, you know, the whole length of the threads. It's not necessary. Just do like the first inch. That's all you need. All right, that's that. Put this in place. We'll get on underneath and put the nuts in. And connect the two pipes, or two PEX hoses, the hot and cold. That's it. Hey guys, there it is. New faucet's in. So we just had to adjust these knobs because when you close them, they were way over here. So just take the set screw and put them where you want them, and tighten up the set screw, and that's it. That's it. Good for another 20 years, hopefully. Hopefully no issues. So we just have to put the water, hook up the water, and turn on the pump, pressurize the system, and see what happens. Don't expect any leaks. Pretty straightforward job. So that's it. We're going to try and salvage some of this year camping. We're just going to do some local stuff. Maybe do 3 states in my area, which we've been in this area for forever and just never been into camping. So we'll try that out. Baby steps, right? So I'm still working on getting healthier. Haven't smoked a cigar in a month and it's driving me nuts, but yeah, I can't go back to that life. So anyway, we appreciate you guys and thank you so much for hanging out and watching our videos, and thanks for subscribing. If you want to like our vids and leave comments and share, that'd be great. It definitely helps us out a lot, and we really appreciate all you guys have done for us. And of course, we enjoy doing what we do to try and help you guys out. Again, if we see us on the road, say hi. We love talking to you guys. We love hearing your stories. And until the next video, happy camping, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys.